Okay, so what I get a sense of is like the main energy for this week is oddly happening at like the end of the week. When I talk about, when you watch the main video, when I talk about this Pisces energy and stuff, like I was getting intuitively blocked for some aspects that was like wait and see. I was talking about going with the flow and side quests of the game and all this kind of thing that were necessary. It's very Piscean, but I feel like what I'm being drawn to is that is the highlighted energy for this week. The energy is happening near the end of the week, not so much at the beginning. We're seeing progress and change near the beginning, etc., but the highlighted energy, for whatever reason, is at the end of the week, and there's stuff going on that I wasn't even told about, so we'll just have to see what happens there. Just a reminder that this is not an all signs or sun sign kind of a forecast. This is a general mundane forecast, like a global, like how it affects us globally. I do not do sun sign astrology. Okay, so let's just jump in here and get going on this week. So starting off directly on Sunday, February 1st, of course, we're going to have this full moon happening in Leo. Now, initially what I get, I get Trump again. I'm just gonna say it. He's just a prominent player on like the global scale right now who likes to get involved. So that's what is coming up. But what I sense is there's a lot of chaos with this. There's a lot of things coming into the light that is going to seem chaotic, being presented into the light that's chaotic. Okay, remember I do this on like a mundane level. So this is of course how it affects us globally, politically, economically, etc. And this is how I'm seeing this, and how it represented by this Leo energy is kind of what's really being brought to light, and this Aquarian with the sun in Aquarius, this chaotic kind of an energy, okay? Because the moon is in the sun sign, and the sun is in Aquarius, the opposite sign of it's. So it's kind of being brought to bring that up, but what I sense is there's a real emphasis on this like chaoticness with the with this craziness, chaoticness, and stuff that's just going on that seems crazy. Again, I'm being drawn to say this may drag on into Monday as well, because obviously Sunday is on a weekend. Of course, this depends on where you are in the world. But since I brought up the aspect of Trump, this could very well lead into Monday, at least in North America, okay? Is there anything else with this full moon? The word I'm getting is change. Anything else? I'm actually being told no, just move on. So that's that, and actually that's the only thing that's really happening on Sunday. So let's move on to Monday here. If it'll load, there we go. Monday the 2nd. So of course on this day we're going to have Uranus here in sesqui-square to Juno in Capricorn. What this feels like is it's surrounding this change. What I sense is this change of allyship. It's not new changes of allyship. This is what has previously already happened, and I feel like this is what I get a sense of is this had to do with the whole tariff ordeal and all of this stuff. There was new committed partnerships, contracts, etc. with like other countries other than the US surrounding like trade deals, that kind of stuff, etc. And what I get a sense of is with Uranus and Taurus. Now Uranus is about to go direct, but what I get a feeling of is this is dealing with economically. So Uranus is retrograde, going over these old things. But it also relates to this new energy of these big shifts. What I sense is this about to go direct, relating to this new energy of big shifts and changes. And this is really pushing for these, something about these, what is seemed as newly created contracts, partnerships. They're not new as in happening now. It's like they've already been worked on. And there's these new commitments that are bringing about almost like these aspects of these large, it feels like economic changes. Okay, and there's this big push moving forward with this energy in whatever way. All right, but that's what I get a sense of is based on that. Now there's these new economic trade changes, etc., and that's what's beginning to push forward with this energy. It actually feels quite positive. Like, it feels like I get a sense of it's other people learn to get along. So there may be some positives coming out of what, whatever that tariff fiasco was, is other people learning to get along. And okay, I'm not going to go there, but I'm just going to say it like that. I'm going to move on. We're also going to have the sun here in semi-square to Saturn. Okay, Saturn in Pisces, Sun in Aquarius. This kind of, what I get a sense of is there's a change of structure here. I feel like it could be related to that economic stuff I just talked about, but there's a change of structure. And there's this new structure, but it's already been formed, but it's just kind of like showing up. It just like the boat, Pisces, the ocean, Saturn is like the boat, it just rolls up on shore. It's like, hey, I'm here, ready for the change. That's what it kind of feels like to me with that semi-square to Saturn. We're also going to have Mercury, where are we here? Mercury in sextile to Chiron. I get a sense there's going to be communication surrounding aspects of change that is moving forward. That's I almost want to be like, it almost seems like it's putting a foot down towards these old wounds, and it's be like, we're not going to let this happen anymore. And like, there's change that's occurring that's moving us away from that wound regarding, it's like independence, sovereignty, that kind of thing, those Aries themes. Now, what I'm being drawn to say is it may not seem like it in terms of what is actually happening in the world, but despite the chaos, despite what is going on, there's actually positive progress being made. Okay, despite what we may see, despite any of that, okay, there's positive progress being made. Mercury is also going to be in the biquintile to Jupiter retrograde. What I get is this sense of comfort and home, or like coming back in some way. And Mercury, which rules Gemini, rules the local environment. So, and that's what is coming to me in this sense, and how that's related. But this is going to feel, it's going to feel indirect. I feel like with that biquintile, it's usually like a behind the scenes kind of an energy, but with that, it's not necessarily behind the scenes. It just feels indirect, as it's related to a lot of other stuff that is going on. So it seems like it might be behind the scenes, or it's not really being talked about at the forefront, but it actually is. It's just not happening directly, or not a direct, it's an indirect consequence, if you will, but a positive consequence of what has already been occurring. Interesting use of that energy. Okay, so that is Monday, February 2nd. Let's move on to Tuesday the 3rd here. And of course, this is when we're going to have Uranus coming direct. Now, it doesn't quite show on the chart yet because it doesn't happen until around 8 p.m. Central. Okay, and this chart doesn't show there yet, but Uranus will come direct in the evening. Now, what I get a sense of with this is there's a lot of change. There's aspects of these big shifts and changes, and it seems like it's economically, obviously Uranus is in Taurus. I get a sense that now this energy is being used in this way economically, in whatever way here, obviously surrounding previous things that I've said in this video. It just feels like money economically, there's like things that are going to be shifting and changing in a lot of ways. Whether it's through new partnerships and relationships. I'm being drawn to this sesquisquare again here that still exists with Juno in Capricorn. Okay, so just kind of be mindful of that with this Uranus direct. It's gonna, I'm almost sensing ignite changes economically and on a monetary level in that way, okay? We're also going to have, where are we here? Mars making minor aspects to the nodes. So we're going to have this quincunx to the south node and this semisextile to the north node. I feel like this is, I get a sense of like a masculine energy that's really pushing for this action, for progress and change. It's almost like it's intervening. There's a masculine energy that's like intervening to really help to push and make progress and change in a new direction, to shake things up, so to speak. And with this quincunx, it's really, it can feel frustrating for those who are latched on to the old paradigm, or the old ways of doing things, the old practical ways of doing things, but they're not, what I get a sense of is they're not really cutting it. There's this new, progressive, very much more humanitarian, better energy that exists moving forward, and that's what I feel with this Mars and this semisextile to the north node in Pisces. There's a much more vast, vibrant, a more progressive, economically viable direction going forward than what we once have felt as normal or comfortable or practical in the past. But there's going to be a lot of, and I get a sense it's older people or those who are stuck in the old paradigm mindset, or what we've been programmed to think or behave. Those people are going to have the most difficult time. It's going to seem frustrating for them. But for the others that are more awakened and aware, it's going to be more frustrating. I almost sense a release of frustration with that quincunx, but it's more like frustrating and maybe a release of that, or let go of that, in that this didn't happen earlier, right? That it should have happened earlier, but at least, thank God it's happening now, kind of an energy. Okay? We're also going to have the Sun here in semi-square to Neptune. Now it's 0 degrees of Aries. This is what I get a sense of, that masculine energy that is coming through to really help as well. So Mars rules Aries, hence where I get that from with the previous aspects, etc. But Neptune, what I get is, it's oddly enough, it's a higher level divine masculine energy. In whatever way this is coming through, I have no clue. Okay, what I get a sense is just an energy that is coming through. It's playing through people, but it's a very positive energy. It's a masculine energy that's being used in the right way, used in an appropriate way, in the way that the masculine should be used or is meant to be used. And that's what I get with this Neptune, this divine aspect in Aries, which obviously Mars rules, but it's also affecting Mars, as Mars rules Aries and Mars is in Aquarius, but like it's all interrelated here. But with this Sun in this semi-square, Sun in Aquarius, and now this Neptune is in Aries, like I said, it's almost like that direct connection to that divine masculine kind of an energy that is now coming through. Okay, and is really initiating and pushing for those aspects of change, of progress that ultimately needs to be made. Okay, so that's Tuesday, February 3rd. Let's move on to Wednesday the 4th. Of course, on this day, we're going to have Venus here in a biquintile to Jupiter, a retrograde down here. What I feel like is there's a lot of people working, I almost want to say on the home front, to make progress. This feels very humanitarian. It feels very, oddly enough, if you were to mix Cancer and Aquarius, it's that nurturing, deep emotional kind of like feminine aspect mixed with this very progressive energy of Aquarius of wanting to make progress, humanitarianism, that kind of stuff mixed together. It actually feels very positive. But there's a lot of people involved, and with Jupiter there, it's that expansiveness of expanding that benevolence through that nurturing of progress, change, those kinds of things. I'm feeling on the home front, it feels very homey, it feels very good. It's like making your home feel better through that humanitarian progress kind of a thing is what that energy feels like. How exactly that is going to play out, I have absolutely no fucking clue, but that is what that feels like to me, okay? And again, that feels like it's an underlying energy. It's like we're going to feel it and sense it at the forefront, but it's not going to be directly talked about, okay? It's one of those things that you're going to know, you're going to feel. There's going to be people working on it behind the scenes, like people that are working for like a government or a business or things like that. They're doing the work in, whether it's in an office or wherever it is that you don't see because they're locked in a building all day or something, right? That's the kind of energy that I'm talking about in terms of this kind of a vibe. We're also going to have Venus in sextile to Chiron. Okay, these people are also helping to alleviate these wounds. It's this progress and moving forward. That there's people that are helping with this to move away from this wounded behavior in terms of sovereignty, etc. It's actually bringing about more sovereignty through a humanitarian way, through independence. There's a lot that's going on that we do not see and do not understand that is happening, and there's a lot of positive energy that is happening behind the scenes to enact a very progressive humanitarian change. But we just don't see it, and we're not being shown it appropriately. Okay? But it is, in fact, there. That's Wednesday the 4th. Let's move on to Thursday the 5th. Move forward here. So we're going to have Mercury, where are we here? Mercury moving at the end of Aquarius in square to Uranus, which is now direct. I get a sense of this is very positive communication and progress moving forward. I get a feel of that with Uranus not only being direct, but Mercury in Uranus' sign. It's like now we can move forward, and it's with these big shifts and changes that are occurring here. And with Venus also in Aquarius up here as well, and basically in conjunction to Mercury within 4 degrees. And Venus ruling Taurus where Uranus is, and of course there's this mutual reception between Venus and Uranus, that there's that intense, more progressiveness. Excuse me, so pay attention to that. If I burp, it's usually saying pay attention to that. More progressiveness that is for these big shifts and changes that are happening, and I get a sense that there's more positive communication coming through surrounding these things that is being pushed through with this, almost like knocking the dark or negative energy out of the way to say, hey, you know what, this is actually going on now, and it's almost like this has been going on now and you've been duped. Kind of an energy that is coming through to like shake things up or maybe awaken people in some sense. But there's just something about it that's positive aspects of change. All right. We've also got the Sun here in quincunx now to Jupiter retrograde. What I get a sense of, it's almost like this didn't happen soon enough, or this should have happened sooner. That's the frustration with the quincunx, is there's this progress, this progressive energy, and this very like positive nurturing. It's like that Jupiter's bringing something back, like I've said. When Jupiter initially went retrograde, it's something that's coming back to us. And that stuff is this aspect of change, but the frustration is that it didn't happen sooner. That's what that quincunx is. But it's happening now. Okay, the Sun is also going to be in this quintile to Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. I get a sense of what I get is people that are kind of latched on to this old paradigm or this old way of thinking are going to feel outcasted. But the thing is that there's an open door to more progress and change in this new world and what is being created and this positiveness that is going on behind the scenes, that is saying, look, you can come join us. We're not actually outcasting you. It's you're choosing to be outcasted because you're choosing an outdated way of thinking and being. But we're not actually shutting you off. It's you're making that choice on your own, is what that really feels like. But the world is going to progress either with or without you. So you can either feel left in the dark or left in the dust, or you can come and join us and it'll be fine. We're not going to let you down, but you have to make the choice to leave the old that is not working, that has been negative and manipulative. You have to leave that old stuff behind. You have to leave the old ways behind and continue to move forward and make appropriate progress. Otherwise, you're choosing to leave yourselves in the dust and you're choosing yourselves to be outcasted. This doesn't feel like negative outcasted energy isn't outcasting something that shouldn't be outcast. This is them choosing it for themselves because they don't want to make progress. And that feels very negative on their part. If they're being outcasted in that way, it's almost like, okay, well, you do your thing then, but we're going to continue to move forward. It's like there's no inherent negativity there because they're choosing their own outcasted behavior instead of, and that's their own choice. They're not being hated on for it or whatever. It's like there's an open door that still exists. But it feels like that this is something that is occurring like behind the scenes or as a result of other things that are going on and progressing, etc. And these people are feeling left out when it's like, no, the door's always been open. You can come join this. It's just you're making the choice not to. And so they're kind of being left, but it's only because, and it seems something that's just, it's not a focus or whatever, but it's still occurring maybe behind the scenes or not really being seen as much, but it's due to their own choice. Okay? It looks like right at midnight or so, we're going to have Mercury here. In semi-square to Juno. What I get a sense of is this is actually related to what I just said, surrounding these new contracts, new partnerships, new commitments that have been made, and the progress that is going forward with this, but there's people that feel like they're left out. Okay, how is this related? Feels like there's communication being made or communication regarding these new partnerships, etc. But other people feel left out because they're still stuck in the old world or they want to stick with the old committed ways or whatever of doing things. But it's like, no, the world has moved on, they've changed, they've had to make new commitments, etc. based on what was happening globally, blah, 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 blah. They've done that, they've made these shifts, they've done these things, they've made their own deals and they're moving on. And those that haven't done that and we're just, hoping that things would go back to normal, but it's not. They're just sitting there, but they've kind of made their choice to not take that action, and now they're feeling like shit, and they're feeling like the victim when really they're not, because they never took action when they should have. That's a big message. But yeah, there's communication surrounding those. Basically, it's about what I said before, but what I get a sense with just that semi-square is there's communication surrounding those new partnerships and contracts, etc. But it feels very positive and progressive and moving forward in a new direction. Okay? But there are people that have made a certain choice that may feel left out. Let's move on to Friday the 6th now. And of course, this is when we're going to have Mercury coming into Pisces. Of course, this will not occur until close to 5 p.m. Central. Okay? But Mercury in Pisces, Mercury will retrograde in Pisces. It feels like with that Mercury retrograde, and I'm going to say this now, it feels like there's going to be a lot that's going to come up surrounding the delusion or the illusion of what has kind of been going on, or how we've been deluded or manipulated in some way. And through that retrograde, things are going to come up because we're going to have 2 eclipses that occur during that retrograde, whether it's during shadow period or during the actual retrograde itself. where we're going to have that eclipse energy. And that's going to be highlighted throughout the Mercury retrograde. So I'm just bringing this up now that, yes, Mercury is going to go retrograde soon again and enter shadow soon again. And we're going to go through this again, and it's going to be eclipse season. And so there's going to be a craziness and intensity. I'm hearing the word chaos again, but it's chaos in a Pisces way, where it's like anything can kind of happen or come out of left field, or it not in the Aquarian way where it just shows up and it's shocking, but it's progressive and it seems helpful. It's in the Pisces way, which can be helpful, but it's also like showing you what's been hidden, the illusion, the delusion, the deception. And it's very much, the more tuned in and tapped in you are to your own higher self, or your own inner being, your own spirituality, your own self, your own sense of intuition, etc., the more you're tuned into that, the better off you're going to be. Okay? Okay, more specifically, Mercury and Pisces. The word that I'm getting is actually wishy-washy. Wishy-washy. Things aren't going to be what they seem. In terms of, like, it's almost like stuff might be coming out or stuff might be being said, but it's like some of it isn't, you're not going to be able to make sense of it. It's going to be wishy-washy and just, yeah. Interesting. Okay, anyway, prior to this though, Mercury will be in this semi-sextile to Saturn, right at 29 degrees of Pisces as well. This feels weird because it feels like, I feel like this bridge between this Aquarian and Pisces energy. It's like this change, and then it's like this, I don't know how to describe this. It feels like this very wavy, flowing, like ebbing with the flow kind of an energy with this Pisces stuff, but it's just, it's just, you just have to go, excuse me, you just have to go with it. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how else to articulate this energy. I'm sorry. It's like you just have to go with it. It's like okay, it's like it's guiding you. It's guiding you. Whatever that flow is guiding you. That structure that's in Pisces, that Saturn, that structure that's in Pisces. It's like the boat or the ship or whatever structure that's guiding you through the water. Listen to what it's communicating you, to telling you. And just go with it. That's it. Anyway, that was an odd message. Let's go to Mars will be in quintile to Chiron. I can't get Pisces energy out of my head. Mars in quintile to Chiron. I don't know. Do I? I'm like being told not to do this. Do I? Like I'm just being stuck in that Pisces, and then I'm not getting anything. Mars. Okay, why? Why no? Mars quintile to Chiron. Why no? You will see. Okay, so we're also going to have here Mercury in semi-sextile to Neptune as well. I get a sense of this masculine energy. Okay, there's like an awareness now, because this is going to be when Mercury is now in Pisces. I get this, it's like an intuitive awareness, but it's like more of this awareness of this energy that is coming through. It's like if you are tapped into your intuition, you're maybe going to sense this a lot more of this masculine energy that is like guiding you, that is coming through to help anyone that is willing to tap into it. But it's guiding and helping no matter what, is what it seems. Is what, well, where it needs to an extent, in the areas in which that people are allowing that to happen. Okay, you can't just sit and lay back and just expect this to just do stuff for you. You have to be willing to listen. Well, there's people that are accepting this energy, helping it, listening to their intuition, and allowing this energy to help them, and still taking action on the things that they're meant to. And that's how this energy is helping in terms of coming through them. You can't just lay back and just expect it to do it for you. That's not at all how that works, and that's not at all what I'm saying. But what I am saying is there's an awareness. Okay, it feels like almost like intuitive communication. Like for those who are tapped in, this masculine energy is going to be able to kind of give you the messages that you need. You're going to feel it, you're going to sense it, you're going to know it, and what to take action on and what to do, ultimately, so pay attention to that, to be able to move forward and take action in your own life. Okay, and now what I'm getting is this is what is occurring on a more higher level, like global level, as there are certain people that are tapped into this that are going to be able to listen to this guidance and follow through on this kind of stuff, as this masculine energy is helping to support them and go through with this. This is very higher level divine masculine energy that is really trying to help and really pushing things forward. And there's people that are tapped into this energy that is here to help. This is a very positive masculine energy, not a negative one, and it is here to help. Okay, the masculine energy from that divine level is that supportive energy that is here to help in that way and take action and really get a grip on things to get them moving. That's what I really feel that is. Okay, so that's Friday the 6th. Let's move on to Saturday the 7th, the end of the week here. And the only thing that we're going to have here is this Mercury in sesqui-square to Jupiter retrograde. Now, Pisces is always... I find Pisces... I want to say difficult. It's not difficult. And I don't mean this as people or what. I'm talking about the energy of the sign itself. I say that because Pisces can be anything. It's elusive. It can be deceptive. It's going with the flow. It's using your intuition. It's this. Okay, I'm getting a sense it's not a bad thing. It's just you have to understand. You have to understand it. You have to understand how it works. You have to, when you're so stuck in maybe the mind and structure and these things, Pisces can seem really hard to deal with, but really you just have to flow with it. You have to go with it, okay? So Mercury in sesqui-square to Jupiter retrograde. There's going to be things that will be coming back to you, okay? Remember, this is on a global mundane level, not a personal level. It's going to be things that are coming back, but we have to allow the flow. Allow the flow, allow things to occur. There's a benevolent energy that is here. But you have to let things play out. You have to allow that flow to happen. You have to go with it. You have to follow the current, even if it's a winding path, a winding trail, because that's the right path. The direct path there is if you're avoiding things that you need to deal with or see or whatever, which is why you need to take the winding path, because there's things that are going to help you along the way. What I'm getting a sense of is it's like side quests in a video game. Whereas like when you take those side quests, you get items or you get things that help you on your direct path or your main quest or your end goal that you're going towards. And if you don't do those side quests, you're not going to be able to complete the main quest that you're on, okay? That's what I'm getting with this winding path of Pisces and having to go through all of this. You may not understand what it is or where you're going or what's going on, but it's there for a reason to help you along the way. Okay? And what I get a sense is it's divinely guided. It's leading you along that appropriate path, even if it seems wild and crazy or you're being led on a wild goose chase. But if you feel that it's right for you, if you feel to keep going, if you feel to keep plugging through, then that's the guidance telling you to keep going. These things are happening for a reason. Just go with the flow. Okay? Now, of course, don't take that and just be like, oh, well, I went on this thing and this guy ended up doing bad things to me or whatever because I thought of what you... Okay, no. Obviously, use your judgment, trust your intuition, and use your better judgment in this, but you know what I mean when you just have that feeling of, okay, I just gotta trust this for whatever reason. It doesn't feel bad, it just feels weird or odd that this is happening, but there's nothing negative here, it's okay. If there's bad things going on around you or whatever, obviously, get your head in the game and deal with it and get out of there. But I'm saying this from the people that know what I'm talking about, okay? And remember, this is on a global mundane level, so whatever is happening, it almost feels like we're just going to have to roll with whatever is going on and trust whatever is going on. Because there's something that's coming, there's stuff that's coming back to us. We're not going to fully see it. We have to go with the flow and take the winding path. The side quests are there for a reason. Okay. We've reached the end of the video. Let me just take the click that. Okay, we've reached the end of the video. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Leave a purple heart in the comments so that I know you're a real one. And of course, if you want any of this stuff personalized for you, I do offer personal readings. You get to choose the amount of time that you want. It's $25 per 15 minutes. You can choose as little, like the 15 minutes, or as long as you want. Or I do a shorter 3-minute quickie reading as well. That I do offer, that's only $10. You get to pick the extent of your reading. The more time you choose, obviously, the more in depth it goes, but those options are there for you. Okay, with all that being said, that's it for this week, and I hope to see you all in next week's video. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. Bye. Link in the description for the readings, mysticalmark.ca. Okay.